Hello, YouTube. Wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of the stuff I've been working on as of late. Um, Shadow, apparently. Um, so I've been making a lot of these programming videos, and I thought I'd explain why. And I thought I would talk about some of the things that I've been working on over probably the past 15, 20 years, ever since I got serious about music and doing it professionally. So one of the first things that I got into when I was about 17 or 18 was composing, and not playing saxophone, but like actually just writing music with manuscript paper and studying scores and learning how to make sounds and everything that went into that. And along the way, one thing that well, let me just preface this saying, I don't think that I was particularly good at it. I got it. I understood it really quickly. And in that process, and this kind of happened for most everything that I did, I picked it up really quickly and I got it to a point where I was like able to pass it on to other people. So when it came to the composing thing, sure, I was, functional at it and I could get work done and I could, make music and I could figure out the sounds that, like, if you loved the way the string arrangements on Disney stuff sounded, I could figure out what was creating that sound and kind of replicate it. And in that process, I didn't want to figure out how that stuff worked for me just to only have it for myself and capture it and pass it and keep it to myself and like make money from it. What I wanted to do when I had that skill was pass it on to all of my friends and all of the people that were kind of interested into it, and get them to be able to make it be fruitful for them as well. So I was talking with Brandon, you remember the keyboard player from Kingsborough, and he was telling me that that's what mentorship is. It's not, you're not teaching privately. What you're trying to do is, you're not teaching privately to like make money from it as like your source of income. You're just trying to give back the knowledge that you've gained. You went through all the errors, you went through all the flaws and the mistakes, and you want to give the other person the good knowledge. I had a conversation with my wife a few months ago. I'll be straight up honest. I have not touched these instruments in probably 5 months. So when you guys are saying that you want saxophone videos, it's not going to happen anytime soon because that's just not what I'm working on right now. Anyway, back to the thing I was talking about. When I spoke with my wife and told her like about this stuff, she pointed out to me that the reason that I got where I was on the horn was not so that I could just like make great music and make cool albums and make money from it and like, tour and whatever. There's like cat hair flying everywhere. What I wanted to do was figure out how to do it, figure out how to like sound really good, and then pass it on to a bunch of other people. Give a bunch of other people that knowledge, and not like don't pay me for it, just here, I figured it all out for you. Let me help you take it to the next level. And when I was talking with Brandon about this, he was like, dude, that's mentorship. Like, I don't want to teach. I don't want to make a bunch of money doing from that. If that happens along the way, that's awesome. But what I really want to do is just kind of, mentor some people and help them get, help them just, take it where they want to take it. Like, for me, learning to compose was never about like, becoming the next John Williams or whatever. I mean, I learned how to write that way and I loved it. But I was never like, I just want to write film scores all day long. What I wanted to do was study it, analyze it, and give the tool set to somebody else who would do that. Because to me, I always felt like the best thing you can do is just take that knowledge that you come up with and pass it on to someone else. So for me, there's like all these like cat hair things floating around because these guys have long hair. So do I. Jeez, I need a haircut so bad, but you know what? Dad life, so whatever. Dad life, work from home life. Who cares? So along with those same thoughts, the programming thing for me, um, I just in my time playing with church musicians and with other musicians, like non-church related and just people that are in the music field altogether, and like all they have is the music hustle. Like they don't know anything else. Um, and I said to myself, you know what? Like, sure, I can totally teach you how to arrange strings because I think that it's a skill everybody should have. And I can totally teach you how to play sax, and I can teach you all the chords and stuff so that way you can become a better musician. Like, these are the thoughts that I had to myself. I was like, let me help you elevate yourself. And then when I started, seeing all of these people on my wedding gigs and whatnot, they're all awesome people, but like they only knew this one hustle, and like that hustle can only lead you so far, and it can't. Music is amazing, but not. It was amazing, 40 years ago when you could actually like make a really good living doing it. But nowadays, with like Spotify not paying anything out and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to pay the bills. If you have a bunch of kids or you're trying to buy a house. If you want to live in the city in an apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment, and you don't want to have a car, you want to live in a place where you don't need to pay vehicle expenses, that's awesome. Or if you end up going to an expensive school and you have like, crazy student loan debt, you're not going to be able to pay that back like as a musician. And I a lot of the church musicians that I worked with or crossed paths with, all they knew how to do was play their instrument. And it made me want to say, you know what? I can help you do more than that. I can help you um, learn probably the most coveted skill right now in terms of like what's going to put food on the table, and that's programming. And along the way in that process, while I was teaching myself, I developed, my app Cordy, and it's, it's been good to me. I've got the iOS version, like it's in beta right now, and the main reason behind that is because I had all of these church musicians that I knew who knew how to play, but they didn't know theory, and they couldn't afford to go to a music school, or they just didn't know where to look. Everything they learned was by ear. They didn't, some of them don't even know like the names of the notes they're playing. They just only know the muscle memory. And I was like, let's take it to the next level. Let's educate ourselves. Let's become let's open the door so that way we can learn to look at scores, and then learn arranging, and then learn how to write for horn sections, and then learn how to write for woodwind quintets, and learn how to just get way more out of music than all you get out of it if you only play at church services, or if you only play in wedding gigs and you only play top 40 music. Like there's so much more to it. And then along those same lines, I discovered how to be creative with it. It was the exact same thing when you're working in a DAW and you're editing your MIDI parts, or if you're dialing in your drum programming. It's that thought process is the exact same thought process that goes into when you're staring at a 10-line score and you're writing for a big band, or you're writing for a string orchestra, or you're writing for a studio orchestra, or you're typing code and you're expressing thought and intent. Like with arranging, you're basically programming sound. With programming, you're programming visual stuff on the screen, or maybe you're doing DSP work, but it's the same process. Your brain, like you're basically going through the same thought process in your brain, and the same neurons are firing. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's basically like that same part of your brain that goes into like, composing and whatnot. It's the same thing when it comes to like writing code and learning to create, how to express an idea via code, how to express an idea via notes, how to express an idea via the piano roll. It's the same thing. You're just expressing an idea and you're doing it through this medium. So, yeah, that's a huge reason behind why I'm working on this stuff. A is to just, just to like really pass a lot of my knowledge on to some people who could really benefit from it. I know I have a lot of users in other countries, and I know I have a lot of not users. I have a lot of young viewers in other countries that playing a horn is awesome. Playing a horn is always going to be fun, but when you have kids, like, it's only going to get you so far, and there are other things you can do that will keep you involved in music, that are going to help you become, they're going to take you to the next level, and they're going to just reward you. So for me, these videos are not only about just like documenting the knowledge and the process. It's also about like, maybe there's like a keyboard player on a church gig who just checks one of these out, opens it up, learns C++ or learns Java or learns, Python or something, and ends up writing the next Facebook or writing the next Instagram or writes the next Logic Pro X, and then, or they write the next Finale, and that like provides for them and provides for their family, and that's awesome. That's, that's kind of like the whole reason that like I have my YouTube channel. If you look at some of my early stuff where I've got like me teaching how to do some string arranging with the EWI, or playing horn arranging with the EWI, or I'm showing how like I would mock stuff up and then sequence it in I would sketch it out for 5 minutes in Finale, and then I would mock it up in Logic. Like, if you watch some of those videos, you'll see that, like, sure, I was trying to pass on the knowledge, but I didn't understand yet that I was trying to mentor. But that's really what I've been trying to do, and it's been this way like ever since I was like a little kid, and I'm just now starting to realize it. So for all of you people out there that are interested in me, and only in the context of releasing recordings of me playing saxophone, they're on their way. They're just, I don't like making those, doesn't give me the same kind of high that teaching people how to make that stuff or teaching people how to play those lines does. I mean, sure, that stuff sounds awesome, and I like the way it sounds too, but it's not, doesn't feed back to me. I don't get the same kind of lift from it that I do, like saying, here's how I played that line. Here's what I'm thinking about when I work on my tone. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. I know that some of you are just not into this stuff. Like, you just want to see me play. So all I can say is just like, when I get time, I'm going to post some stuff, but I'm really not focused on playing my instruments right now. Ever since we got out to Long Beach, that's just not what's going on. I want to, create some awesome tools and take you along for the ride for how to create those tools. So maybe you can start creating your own tools and pass that knowledge on to your own people. I think that would be awesome. But yeah, there's a bunch of other YouTube channels out there if you want to hear amazing people play sax, like Bob Reynolds or Jeff Schneider's thing, or whatnot. Like, check those guys out if that's all you really want to hear. If you want to hear the Kingsborough stuff, I'm sorry, that period has passed. I have one other video that I haven't posted. I will give you a little sneak peek of it right now. Wish I could turn the camera around, but I don't think it'll let me. Nope, just a screenshot. Alright, this is the one I haven't released. That's all you get. That's all you get of that. Anyway, Glenn sent me the stems for that one, so I've been like just tinkering with the mix for months. Well, that was from May 6th, 2017. So that has definitely been, I've been tinkering with that since like probably August last year, and I don't know if I'll ever get it done. I don't know how to mix. Glenn was a magician when it comes to that stuff. He was a wizard, not a musician. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah. So,
leave me some comments. I would really appreciate it if you guys would definitely check out some of these programming things. I think that you could benefit a lot from it, and I think that it can open a lot of doors if you're willing to invest the time. It's the same like with learning how to compose and learning how to do more than just play your instrument. You can get a lot more out of it. Anyway, this is a long enough rant. That was like 15 minutes. So I'm going to end this here and get back to taking care of my kid, hanging out with my wife, and just, working on these little programming videos and whatnot. I'll have an announcement in in a little bit with regard to a big change that has come down my way that I'm very excited about. All right, later.